not exactly easy to build up a big bad. It's different from main characters or villains of the day. The first we always follow, we see them grow, the second ones appear, do their job and disappear. But when you have a big bad, a villain that the hero or the audience is supposed to know about from long before, you have to show neither too much nor too little of him, just what is necessary and always the right things to show. In Gaim, this was successfully done with Roshuo. Each of his appearances and actions only made him more intimidating and interesting. They successfully built him up to a powerhouse in the way of the good guys. Will they overcome it? Okay, Sagara is narrating the intro to this episode that can be good, which trails off into the conversation with Mai. The DJ can't believe Kota, or appears not to, would be that selfless. Mai says that if he wasn't, he would have pat himself through half of what he did. Still, Sagara reinforces his role as a simple observer, the most partial one since the fucking Watcher, while the White King asks Mai if she believes humanity to be worth Kota's life. Then, we switch to Mitsuzane vs Kaito. From Rider vs Rider, which ignores Kaito's plan from last episode, it turns into a fist fight over Mai. Give them a shower of cocktails and we have a romantic comedy on our hands. Seriously though, who would you rather be with, girls? The guy who respects you and thinks you're strong enough to not need people saving, or the guy who, well, talks to the brother he killed, kidnapped you, makes monsters kill your friends? Anyway, Ryoma suddenly says over the interphone that Mai has been taken to Helheim and just whose company she's enjoying. This gives all the riders a reason to leave the tower. Whatever Ryoma is about to do, he doesn't want any interferences. But guess who survived an army of invades? Pierre and Jonuchi are back and more than willing to hold back Mitsuzane while Kato goes ahead to Helheim, but I can't help but wonder if they will be enough. Kaito finds Kota, and after somehow having him realize at first glance that Kota is not pussyfooting around anymore, back to Mai and Roshuo. The king says that since whatever he did he couldn't save his own race, he won't give humans the same chance. He learned firsthand that when you focus on saving things not worth that effort, you can lose everything you love in the process, maybe for nothing, and that probably is making his beloved twist in her grave. Mai opposes that notion, convinced that White King shouldn't just dismiss his efforts and the purity of his intentions because of the results. That was why his beloved trusted in him in the first place. Cue flashback because of course his wife gave him a similar speech. But I'm okay with this. I mean, that's the role that's been given to Mai, supporting the hero, and we've seen her do that before. It's not coming out of nowhere, so... But this, for some reason, suddenly makes Roshuo plant the golden fruit in her body, and then send her back to the real world, while he prepares to attend his final duty. Then we go back to the real world, where Mitsuzane is making around the comedy duo. This forces them to pull off a combination move and then run. Mitsuzane decides to just let them go, cue other lady, entrance left. She tells Mitsuzane that she knows about the Mai and Roshuo. That's another movie idea. She also reminds him that Roshuo is kind of noble. So, if he gets interested in Mai to the point of protecting her, wouldn't he protect her from Mitsuzane first? And just as Dark Suit pulls off his oh shit face, Ghost Takatora appears to further reinforce what a useless little twat he is now that no one trusts him. He runs away like a bitch, the overlady talks about their chance to strike, and then cut to Helheim. The double Ks are looking for Mai, but all they find is Roshuo waiting for them. He reassures them about Mai's whereabouts, and then attacks the duo. He baits them with a vision of the golden fruit, and then it's on like Donkey Kong! Kaito and Kota versus Roshuo, and Ryoma apparently didn't need a tower, but he just wanted to observe Roshuo's fighting prowess. And again, fucking hell YouTube, how am I supposed to do this battle justice? Roshuo has been built up to be this unstoppable machine of power and death, and he fucking delivers! Lightning bolts, telekinesis, teleporting, that giant sword, he catches energy arrows with his bare hands and sends them back. He makes a Helheim plants, a bitch slap them around, they're completely helpless! Even when he lets them attack him with their best shots, they don't even reach his body! And yet he doesn't kill Kota and Kaito. He's talking to them, insulting them. almost as if he's spurring them forward. Kaito is of course the first one to react to that, but seeing the results I don't know if that was a good thing, but still he gets back on his feet, or tries to, no matter how bloody, better than in pain he is. Rosho defines the situation as shame and then prepares for the coup de grace. Did I say that right? But of course that is what spurs Kota into further action, and he actually manages to lay a hand on the king, now that they're fighting at close range. And not only once, but still Rosho is of course also like freaking Wolverine. He still has the upper hand and continues spurring Kota on. When Kota takes out the Zenith Fruit, the king asks him if he really will continue using the power of the Golden Fruit knowing the effects. Then he proceeds to show even more of the Golden Fruit's power. Now I understand. What he gave Mai is the human golden fruit, this is his own one, which he uses to continue putting pressure on Kota, physically and mentally. By this point, anyone can realize that Rosho has not really been fighting the two with the intention to kill. He's tempting them and testing them, he's taking his sweet time trying to push Kota to the limit, and eventually he does. Kota already affirmed his resolve, now the White King gives him a chance to act on it. For a few seconds, since he then proceeds to slice cleanly through the triumphant arms, rendering them completely useless, and since they're needed for the Zenith arms too, still, the White King doesn't kill him. He seems to be about to reveal exactly what he was testing them for when Ryu suddenly attacks him from behind. This of course angers Kaito, who hates this kind of stuff. And then she proceeds to stick her arm into his body and steal away the golden fruit of the Lynimf, only for it to be a fake? What? I mean, but it was using its power, I mean... Okay, he's welcoming that to be by his loved one's side again, but what? Okay. I have a theory, but we'll talk about it later. Anyway, the fake out angers Ryu, who kills Rosho and then proceeds to maim his body. Now, this instead angers Kota. Ryu is not scared though, no triumphant arms after all. Except, Kota is now a complete overlord and he proceeds to just repair the fucking thing like he's resetting a Tamagotchi! No, seriously! The plants obey him, he moves around supernaturally, the background song talks about having obtained power beyond compare, and then, in the most epic symbolism from this series yet, he takes Rosho's sword and lays the final blow to Ryu with it. And then finishes her off with the DJ gun for good measure, although this in front of Kaito and Mitsuzane. The first seems pretty angry about what transpired. Mitsuzane instead immediately understands why Mai is not here and where the golden fruit is. Ryoma got it too, and in the last scene we see Mai stumbling back to Gaim HQ and... Oh fuck no. No! Please tell me that... there's more! Seems like the resurrection machine worked after all, the queen is alive! Or maybe not, since that was her ghost. The episode ends on a sad note, the Lynimf are now completely extinct. The battle for the golden fruit is now between humans only. Well, and whatever Kota is now. Okay, first of all, fuck no! Please tell me that this won't end with a time travel twist! Fuck that red eye, and fuck the queen looking like the princess damn. I think I damned myself accidentally with that name. And, I mean, it's not that it's a theory I haven't entertained before, remember? And, okay, if this is only about the princess being a Mai from a bad end timeline coming back to try and change things, I will be fine with it. But I swear to God, if this ends with a timeline reset where the entire series never ever fucking happened, like another piece of shit Kamen Rider finale, I'm going to blow a fucking fuse! Now for the rest of the episode. Rosho had the send-off they built him up to have, as a great, powerful adversary who in the end found honor again. His final duty was making Kota into someone who will be able to maybe do what he couldn't. And also to maybe send Kaito back to the villainous side of the equation. Ryu finished like she started, a manipulating snitch who lost it when she realized she'd been played like a fool. Everything taken from her, her goal, her power, her life. And regarding the theory about what happened, Rosho has always had two fruits in his hands, the one for the Lynimf and the one for the humans. Before his death, no one knew that he hadn't had the second one anymore. The human one is the one everyone wants, because evidently you can't tie a golden fruit to a person more than once. When Radius stole the Lynimf's one from Rosho, it turned rotten and died, taking its godly power with it. Also, Radius' sneak attack shows a very important weak point. The golden fruit doesn't work automatically, ever. The usage of its power is completely up to the owner. Rosho wished for himself to be healed when Kota hurt him. Radius struck him hard and lethally with a spell that didn't disappear, like an arrow that isn't removed won't let a wound close. This allowed her to keep him weak until she extracted the source of his power from him. But in the end, this spelled the end for both of them and their world race, which means that only two enemies are left in Kota's path to the throne, Mitsuzane and Ryoma. Or maybe three. Well, that's it for today, Rider fans. What do you think? Am I going to blow a fucking fuse or not? Do you like Rosho's final duty? His final fate? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you still haven't. And if you want, give my other videos a gander. It makes Meinos a happy Meinos. Già ne?